Hey, what's up, card fighters? So this is like my second time profiling this deck. I really didn't like the way it came out the first time. It was at locals. It was a little bit loud. It was like a lot of glare in the area I was sitting at, and I felt like I didn't go through like the deck well enough. Like that's how I felt at the time. So I wanted to redo my deck profile of Stealth DOTE. That's what I'm deeming the deck. It's just a version of the deck to whereas the main goal is to just deck thin so that whereas your chances of hitting offensive and defensive triggers are greatly increased. And the way that we're doing that is the stealth engine. Y'all might remember this from my Bastagra stealth profiles, which I did use to get ninth place at the KSC 1K Invitational. I was like this shy of getting into top 8, but you know, it happens. But into the profile itself, we're using the DOTE ride line or the Overlord ride line. There's really no reason not to. It's a +2, like it's a soft +1 to board, and it's a hard +1 to hand. And this like the grade 1 just helps you get your grade 1 combo pieces into your hand. It helps you get your Halb. It helps you get your PGs. It helps you get, more often than not, I was grabbing Forktail off the grade 1 of the ride line. But yeah, let's get into the profile. Let me just go over the stealth engine first before anything else. Let me just put this here. So for the stealth engine, it's obviously 4 Forktails. You know, she is the whole stealth engine herself, just because she can search for any stealth or glitter card from the top 7. And the subsequent other stealth units I decided to use were 4 copies of Modica, and then 4 copies of Shadkin. Now, the reason that I was using these stealth units over any other stealth units was my thought process was that if I did hard draw into these cards, I want them to fulfill another purpose besides just, oh, I want to soul charge these, or oh, I want to discard these. So Madoka filled that role nicely of like, if I draw into this, hey, it's more shield depending on how many cards my opponent has in the drop zone. And then Shenkin also fulfilled this role of, hey, if I draw into this like to mid to late game where my opponent's already grade 3 or greater, it's a 15k attacker. A 15k attacker behind an 8k booster, that's 23. 13k booster, that's 30. That's 33. With Persona Ride, that's 43 or 28. No, it's 43 or 23. Yeah. Wait, what? You messed up math, dumbass. No, it's either 33 or 38 with Persona Ride. Math is hard, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're just running a little 12-card stealth package. I didn't feel like I needed more. I felt like this was enough. You do have like a 2 of flex spot, so if you really do feel you need more stealth units, in all honesty, like besides archetypal stealth units, there's really not that many good ones. You could run like Tenchestead if you really wanted to. Like that also does something, but it requires your Vanguard to hit. So you know, take that for a grain of salt. But getting onto the Overlord package of the deck, or like the Overlord cards of the deck, we are running 4 copies of DOTE. You know, he is the whole deck. He is, you know, the win condition / star of the deck. We want to ride him on turn 4, and the whole idea is with the cards that we're using from our stealth package, with the ride line, because you do deck thin 1 off the ride line, and with your copies of Burning Horn Dragon, the idea is you deck thin so many cards, it increases your chances of hitting triggers, which this deck really doesn't have a win condition outside of, you know, hitting really semi-good numbers. Well, I guess it hits better numbers now, but like hitting like really standard basic 23, 28, 33k numbers, like 38k numbers, and like also having the added fact of my deck is like chock full of triggers. I'm guaranteed to hit them. Not guaranteed to hit them, but I have a higher chance of hitting them. To whereas the way I generally play this deck, a restanding deck, which most people should take into account if they do play a restanding Vanguard deck. If your opponent gives you 2 to pass and you do check a trigger on the first check, just give it all to Vanguard, because at the end of the day, your Vanguard's restanding, which means that pressure isn't necessarily leaving. You're just giving yourself the wiggle room of, hey, if I break this, I break this. If I don't break this, that's cool. My Vanguard is still restanding, same power, same critical. The only difference is it's going to have like one, or no, not even, because he keeps his drive checks. So it's literally the same thing. So you have no reason really to not put all effects on the Vanguard. And then the last card of the Stealth engine that we are playing, not the Stealth engine, of the Overlord engine, we are playing 4 copies of the Dragritter Halb. I don't have them on me. The Halbs that I was using for the tournament, I was borrowing them off of a local friend that he really likes Overlord. Like, Overlord is his main clan, so like when Halbs came out, he shelled out like $160 for them. They're really expensive right now. They're like $55 a piece, and they're like $250 for like the playset, which I'm just not really willing to let go of that amount of money for a deck I'm not really going to play like that competitively. Because don't get me wrong, this deck's really good, like really good, but like in my opinion, like Overlord is like the bottom of the barrel of tier 1 in my opinion, just because all Overlord really has is restanding, to whereas the other tier 1 decks right now, they have like Lutetia has restanding plus like what she does with her order cards. Youthberg has like another attack with the Vanguard plus everything else that Youthberg does to generate advantage. Freaking, what's the other one? Ava has insane deck thinning plus rearguards of crits plus rearguards that can just smack your opponent's entire front row, front board. So, yeah, I do feel like Overlord is at the bottom of the barrel right now. I do know that they are getting more support in the future, so you might just see this deck more often on this channel. And the last 2 cards of the Overlord engine that we are running is, we're running 2 copies of Nahalem. In the match videos, I wasn't running extra Nahalems in the main deck. My theory was that, like, because this did get sniped. It did get sniped quite a few times, but my theory was, like, if it does get sniped, I don't really care, because I make better numbers with, Burning Horn, and even if it does get sniped, if I have like a Shankin, it's like technically the same thing. But just because we do generate like so much soul, it is just more beneficial that we do have the extra Nahalems to give that extra power to our Vanguard, because giving extra power to our Vanguard does matter, because your opponent is eventually going to have to either try to no-pass you, which you can still check the OT, or try to 2-to-pass you, which you can break because of your drive checks. Getting on to the rest of the deck, I didn't anticipate having like such a large hand with this deck. Like, it was like my hands were like semi-okay, so that's why I chose to run like just 4 of the normal DPGs versus the Blitz Order PG. You can run the Blitz Order PG, like you can actually just cut one of these and just run the Blitz Order PG, and it's essentially the same thing, which you still kind of want to search PGs. The way my hands were sculpted was I really only searched for a PG once where I didn't have one, or I was going second and I felt like I needed an extra one. More often than not, you're searching your combo pieces, which you're searching your Forktails, you're searching your Halbs, and the PG is actually like the last thing on my mind that I do want to get off of my ride line. Next for the triggers, we are running one of the Dragon Empire OT. There's really not much to say here. It helps you get like a triple restand off, which doesn't necessarily always get you game, because I feel like the Dragon Empire OT is the weakest of all the OTs right now. But it does, it's an OT that helps you restand, which can just sometimes win you the game, especially if your opponent doesn't have any PGs. That's why I feel like these cards should not exist and shouldn't be in the current competitive format. Next we run 3 front triggers, 4 of the effect crits. You don't really need effect crits in my opinion in this build. There are like cheeky scenarios where like you could put it in soul and like, oh, your 13k booster became a 15k booster, or oh, your 8k booster became a 10k booster, and it kind of like slightly helps with building numbers, but you really don't need it per se. There's actually times where like I felt like I would rather just have this be like a 5k to make a better column. And then we're running 4 more crits, because this is a very aggressive deck, and our goal here is to just try and crit our opponent to win, or like trigger our opponent to win. And then 4 of the regular heals. You guys already know how I feel about the effect heals. I don't feel like they're good enough in this format. Maybe in like the the next couple of sets they'll shine more with like Chrono Jet coming out, or like maybe like the new other heals that like if your opponent's grade is higher than yours, they get like plus 15 would be better, but I'm just really not impressed with those defensive mechanics that they've been shilling out. They feel like shit to me, so I generally don't play them. But yeah, this is my Stealth Overlord list. I do believe this is like a really good deck that you can top like major events with, like even like especially like best of one events in my opinion, just because like your whole goal is to just get your deck thin and like chock full of triggers and have a great day with your like triple drive or your quad drive from your restanding Vanguard. But that's pretty much it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below. Don't forget we are selling our channel mats. We're selling them for $25 a piece, plus shipping and handling. We do accept Cash App. We accept the PayPal. If you do want one of these mats, please don't hesitate to message me on Messenger. Just try and help out the channel any way you can. If you can't afford a mat, or hey, you don't have Messenger, you can always email us. You could share this video, share the channel, tell your friends, tell your family, your classmates, anybody. Like anything you could do to help us grow. We've been growing. Like we just recently got to 500 subscribers, and that's just amazing. Like you guys are amazing. So if you can't buy a mat, don't worry about it. Like it just supporting the channel like helps me, like no matter what. So don't worry about if you can't buy a mat. I actually do have a giveaway. I'm going to link the Chaos video at the end of this video. There is a giveaway at the end of that video for one of these mats. So follow the instructions at the end of that video. Later, guys.